So you don't worry about the what the next iteration of you might be. You don't ever. You're just trying to be here now.
Right. I mean, so if you're thinking, God, I have to do this so my next life is X.
Yeah.
You're not really here.
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and
right.
It's a distraction.
That's the hardest lesson to learn, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, is it? I mean, well, it's rhetorical, but I guess it.
I mean, it's a lesson that I'll probably try to learn the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really think I'll get anywhere. You know, maybe this round, but you know, the more I sort of stay here, maybe the better it is.
Wow. What about the people who know Brian the rest of the time, or even who grew up with you, or your family? How do they feel about how do they feel about your Buddhist pursuit?
At least come to Sangha with me. I've taken,
right.
You know, my kids, you know, teach them to learn meditation.
Yeah.
You know, Meg comes to retreats sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, actually, there's a great. If you have enough time, there's a great story. When on my first retreat,
yeah.
And I was pretty nervous. I walk into the dormitory and there's a guy there. Never seen him before in my life. I was in there 30 seconds before he came up and he said, you know, I'm Roman Catholic. Do you think it's okay that I'm here? This guy, I mean, and two thoughts occurred. One, this guy is really freaked out.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But this guy is also probably one of the bravest guys I've met because he was so afraid that he was doing something, but something was drawing him there.
Right.
He was a devout Roman Catholic. And I said, no, you know, this is not theistic. There's no God here. There's no, you know, I said, but, you know, learning the practice, becoming mindful will help being a Roman Catholic. You know, because there's no, you know, I mean, I don't even know if I consider myself a Buddhist. I mean, the practice is beyond any sort of definition. I mean, it's good we have I guess a label,
mm-hmm.
but the practice of mindfulness isn't necessarily a Buddhist practice.
Right.
And you know, and he asked that same question when we were together with the head monastic, and he said basically the same thing. You know, kind of, you know, we're happy to have you here, and if anything, this practice will, you know, only make your life as a Roman Catholic maybe more intense.
Right.
You know, be more aware of it.
Right. So, you know, that's interesting. It's an interesting point that you make because one of the questions that we had earlier during our segment, our week working on Buddhism was, is Buddhism a religion?
Yeah. No.
And you know, there are a lot of people who think that Buddhism is. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I know for me, I think that for me, and it sounds like for you, one of the key draws is that it is non-theistic. It is a philosophical lifestyle choice, sort of, or a lifestyle philosophy, or probably even deeper than that. But
yeah, it's hard to put labels on it because, you know, really it's really what a lot of people say, it's becoming human.
uh-huh.
You know, the path of the human being. You know, so it's really kind of just, you know, really waking up, and we all really probably should.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the answer, there's a book by a really well-known philosopher, Heidegger, a German philosopher, and it was on all world religions, and he said the only reason I put Buddhism in there was because so many people are Buddhists, but it really didn't fall into the category of religion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that with a couple of these Eastern religions, is that they you know, Confucianism doesn't really have a God, so to speak, and neither does Taoism, but you know, nonetheless, they're in a book as Eastern religions.
Yeah.
So how often do you meditate? Do you meditate daily? I mean, that's part of your regular practice. Once, twice, 2 times a day? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a set time period that you try and?
Well, morning and you know, sometime in the evening.
Yeah, but I mean, when you sit down to do it, I mean, is it just a sort of are you trying to get to is there some goal, like 30 minutes of meditation that you have, or?
See, I think that would be that would sort of impede practice, but I think there's two things. One, you know, the longer you can do it, probably the better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you get it to, like, you know, 25 to 35 minutes, that's a kind of a good space to be in. But that doesn't mean that people doing it 5 minutes aren't doing good practice either. The other thing is when you're sitting, you just sit without any sort of gain or expectation. Really, the thought is that you're just breathing. If you can just do it and just be, breath, that's good. But even having said that, we've already sort of set up an attainment or a goal.
Right.
And really it should be without any goal or any attainment.
Okay, so even though it's supposed to be without any goal or attainment, there is a byproduct, a benefit to meditating.
Absolutely.
What is that for you?
Well, I guess you get to know yourself. You get to practice, right concentration, right effort, right mindfulness. The three sort of meditative parts of the Eightfold Path. And then beyond that, I guess it's kind of wait and see. We do it because you have this urge to, I guess wake up or practice. Beyond that, sometimes it's hard to define what you're getting out of it. I think, but what it does do in a daily life, because practice doesn't end there. Practice really, they say off and on the cushion. It does help. When I'm about to, say something I shouldn't, maybe I can catch myself because I've, practiced, or maybe I can remember that someone else is, if at work, I'm thinking I'm the only person doing the job right, maybe I can remember that there's a lot of other people doing the best they can too.
Right.
And I won't, hurt somebody. I won't say something I shouldn't.
Right.
I won't, I'll think of others, And so I think it does generate compassion. I think it does generate more of a, you see sort of the interconnectedness of everything, which is, a big Buddhist thought.
Yeah.
So I think it does generate those, it generates those insights, and it becomes the foundation of what you do during your day.
1 minute, I'm going to leave it at that. That was great.
Was that okay?
Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you.